Pain heals. Chicks dig scars. Glory lasts forever.
Are you getting it yet? Is the WNBA getting it yet? Are the rest of the players in the WNBA getting it yet? Now, I just did a video that speaks to ratings. It talks about Unrivaled, something new just came out, and getting into Paige Beckers and all that, and how desperate they are for her to be the face. And here we have this. You may see this first. I'm not sure if that one, other one is out yet, because I had to jump on this because again, it speaks to Caitlin Clark being different. This is what the league is simply not getting above and beyond her fandom in terms of her basketball play. Caitlin Clark fans will watch Caitlin Clark and support Caitlin Clark doing anything. Caitlin Clark attracts eyeballs. More importantly, when it comes to the league and the players and what they say they want in terms of money, Caitlin Clark's fans open up their wallets. Now they watch, obviously, ratings gets the advertising money and so forth, but whether it's Wilson basketball releases, her cards, Nike, whatever, well, Nike, but anyway, whatever it might be, they put their money where their mouth is, so to speak, and they open their wallets and they support Caitlin Clark financially as well as with their time. And this is yet another great example of that. We have the ratings for Caitlin Clark on Sunday night on NBA basketball, NBC's NBA Sunday basketball. And it's impressive, folks. And here's why I related a little bit to Caitlin Clark, because not only is it impressive, as we will see here in a moment, it is mind-boggling. Welcome back to the channel. Thank you for being here. Appreciate all your support. Hope you're having a fantastic day. Shout out to the 19. You know the drill by now. So let's flip on over. NBC's first Sunday night basketball draws season high viewership. Oh, but it gets better. NBC's Sunday night basketball is akin to its NFL primetime broadcast Sunday night football. NBC's first Sunday night basketball doubleheader delivered strong ratings for the network. That is an understatement. The NBA version of Sunday Night Football for the NFL began with a matchup between the Knicks and Lakers. The game, which tipped off at 7, drew 4.5 million viewers on NBC, Peacock, and Telemundo, per Nielsen and Adobe Analytics data. Most watched game, listen to this, most watched game of the 2025-26 NBA regular season across, are you ready for this? All networks, excluding Christmas Day and opening night. That's impressive, folks. Also, the most watched Sunday night game of the regular season since 2002, when NBC last had the NBA's broadcasting rights. The nightcap, Thunder and Nuggets, tipped off at 9:30 Eastern, 2.9 million viewers, which NBC said is the most watched late primetime game on record. Yeah, because they screw the people in the East over all the time. The Sunday night doubleheader combined to draw 3.7 million viewers. Now, where is it? Yeah, here we go. The NBA averaging 1.85 million viewers so far this season, which is up 19% compared to the same time last year. And yet, what was that number I just said? What was that number? 4.5 million viewers. 4.5 million viewers. It averages 1.85. Even the second game, which didn't start till 9:30 Eastern time, crushed the NBA and what they averaged this season. The league has leaned into promoting its increased reach this season. Nationally broadcast games have had more than 132 million unique viewers, up 86% from last season. The next edition will be February 22nd to give way to the Super Bowl and the NBA All-Star Game over the next 2 Sundays, respectively. Uh, this is now look, obviously we can't say, oh, this is all Caitlin Clark. But I think it's safe to say when you look at that number, 4.5 million in a league averaging 1.85, in taking away Christmas and opening night, the number one game across everything, not just NBC, across everything. And this is what WNBA, this is important for you to pay attention to this. To think that Caitlin Clark is not a big part of that is absurd. Now, yes, I know she wasn't playing, but you had a lot of people tuning in for the festivities, shall we say, with Caitlin Clark being an analyst. Everyone wanted to see that. And of course, they stayed for the game. I can't give you a percentage. I do not know. But again, to look at these numbers and shrug it off as if Caitlin Clark was not a huge part of that is a big, big mistake. And in Unrivaled, they talked about how, well, you know, games would go up against certain things, right? NFL playoffs, or NFL, sometimes playoffs, yeah, college football, and on and on. Well, keep in mind, Sunday night also held the Grammys. Okay. So the NBA games went up against the Grammys. Now, I'm not necessarily saying it's the same audience, although I think there's probably a lot of overlap. NBA fans like music, but that is definitely some competition that the NBA would have with, you know, Grammys are once a year. It just happened to fall on this night. And yet the NBA with Caitlin Clark still had a massive ratings coup. It's going to be interesting to see how it goes going forward. And then when Caitlin Clark returns, what it is going to look like as well. Now, excuse me, I don't think any of this, excuse me, is a surprise to Caitlin Clark fans. Of course, you understand the draw that she has. It's like, one of the pushbacks, people were making a huge, huge deal of Unrivaled and the 21,000 they drew in Philly. Now, whether that number is finagled or not, that's a story for another day because they wanted to make that about Caitlin Clark. Um, I had a screenshot, but I don't have it available. In fact, when that number came out and there was all that talk about Unrivaled drawing 21,000 in person in Philly, Caitlin Clark was trending on X, right? Because Caitlin Clark is always in their heads, and they had to make it about Caitlin Clark. That is the kind of draw that she has. That is the kind of impact she has. Kind of like going back to the basketball thing with the Reggie Miller thing and Paul Pierce. The how the gravity that she has, and the drawing those defenders. Same type of thing. Unrivaled has something you can just look at it as good as say, hey, they went to Philly, they did that special thing, they drew 21,000, which was I believe a women's professional basketball record, and they could have left it at that, but no, they had to make it about Caitlin Clark. They had to first say it was a women's sports record, which it's not even closer. Like, I mean, 5 soccer matches alone have drawn over 90,000 people. Okay. And I think there was a college volleyball match women's that drew like 92,000. So come on. But the point being, they had to make it about Caitlin Clark. And then, as they do, Caitlin Clark fans always have receipts. They came up. So, she played an exhibition game in college that drew 55,000 fans. Y'all can keep trying to diminish her and keep trying to move goalposts and keep trying to downplay who she is and what her impact is. But reality speaks for itself. The numbers speak for themselves. Caitlin Clark is a draw no matter what she does. I promise you. Now she'll tell you she's not good enough for it, but maybe if she put in the work, uh, she said, "Hey, you know what? I'm going to go golf." I promise you, she will be a ratings crusher. She will be ratings gold, is what I meant to say, if she went and decided to do that. That's just the fact. And that's just the way it is. Caitlin Clark is going to draw fans and supporters, whatever she does, wherever she goes. This is just another example of that. She has a huge, bright future above and beyond playing basketball. The league might want to keep that in mind as well when if maybe don't keep letting her get mugged and injured and all that. But anyway, let me know your thoughts in the comments below. Appreciate you so much. Really, really do. Smash the like button. It helps out tremendously. Subscribe. You know the drill. Go have a fantastic day. I will talk to you later.